Hello guys, today we're going to do something that's a little bit different from the usual CTV work we're doing. We're going to work on the HandmadeHero codebase, and I want to fix something that has annoyed me for a while. So let's just do that, and let me show you what I mean. So first, let's run the code. I'm gonna build a fresh HandmadeHero here and run it. Because this is compiling with optimization, it takes 10 fucking seconds to compile, but well, what can you do? And then we can just start it, I guess, yeah. So now, first off, we have these annoying things in here. I would like to disable them, and luckily there is a point in the code where you can do that. That is in Handmade. I think that one is either in Handmade Render or in Handmade. Let me see if I can have this by half and half. Okay, this should now get the part where this stuff is being drawn removed, which is in, I would guess, in Handmade OpenGL. OpenGL CPP. We scroll all the way down. Okay, that is the OpenGL thing, but it's not the actual render. We need to get to the actual render. Render CPP. There we go. So let's first turn off the drawing of the output there of the probes. Well, if I search in files and look for probes, then I have something in Handmade Entity, which I don't mean. What are those? They're the lighting, the octahedral things are called depth. Because one of them draws the depths, we can look at the depth one. And there we have some of them pertaining to the depth peel. Compiled Z bias. Maybe it is in Handmade Render OpenGL. Yeah, here it is. That I want to disable to get rid of those debug maps. And if you see me opening the profiler, it's all black because it's getting lighted. So we also want to disable the lighting in the shader. I think if I just say disable lighting, in here this may This may be enough to fix that, but I'm not sure. Apparently, okay. Disable lighting. Is it lighting disable? There is for sure a lighting disabled. If you can just set this to true. But I guess this is already too late in the process, and it's not being found. So there is a variable lighting disabled, which is in there, and it is in the shaders. So if we want to find shaders, they all start with R-foo. And there we have our first shader code. This fragment shader definitely gets a lighting disabled variable in the compile Z-bias program. And if I recall correctly, there was a place where you could set this one. This variable has to be set here in the compile Z-bias program. If I comment out this lighting disabled true, this should remove the lighting, and it also removes drawing of the debug maps because I removed those maps. I can show you how it looks when I put the comment back in, and then we will still see this gloomy picture, but without the debug maps, because I commented out this, because I put the hash define to 0 just now. Now I have the ability to look at the profile window, and I might want to make it a bit bigger, and I may want to look at the frames, and now you will see that, oh my god, I can't read anything because it goes off the screen, and I don't like that. So first we have to find the place where the tooltips are being drawn, and I believe this is done in debug, and we can definitely see there is a text buffer which is called the tooltip buffer, which would lead me to assume that tooltips are being drawn here, and somewhere there's a place where all the tooltips are being drawn. I think that one is in dev UI. Yes, here in end UI frame, you see there is this mouse P, and the mouse P is the place where the mouse is and where the tooltip should be being drawn. And there's a draw line buffer, tooltips, that takes the mouse layout. So I assume the mouse P in here controls where everything is being drawn. If that is the case, then we should be able to change the location where this is being drawn by changing this. And let's call this draw P. And let's say P2 draw P equals mouse P minus P2 2265. So now the mouse P should be used, but it's modified. It's moved to the left by a few pixels and down by a few pixels. This didn't seem to do much, if I'm honest. Perhaps I make the changes a bit more noticeable. Oh, there's an under, yeah, it's UI mouse P. I forgot that one. Well, that shows why it didn't change. It didn't compile. Now we should see it change. It should move quite a bit to the left and down, and it did. So we can change where the thing's being drawn, and we still want to draw it at the mouse cursor, but if this box intersects with the end of the screen region, we want to move the position left by the amount of intersection. So luckily the UI member has the screen region, at least I believe it does. UI, where is the UI itself defined? Dev UI. The Dev UI has a rectangle tool called UI space, and UI space gives us the a rectangle from this corner to this corner. So what we can do now is to look at the max corner, at this corner here, to find out where that is, and then we move the beginning of the text box back by how long the intersection is. So there. We just do it in end UI frame, but the tooltips are being drawn, because then this will work for all the tooltips. Okay. So we know that this draw P is being used. What we need to do now is to go through all tooltips, get how many tooltips there are, go through all of the lines and remember the size of the longest line. So there is, this would be float, max lines max x. It starts out with being 0. So nothing to be drawn. Then we have to go through our lines. This code base is not called int, it's called u32 line index. As long as line index is less than UI dot tooltips dot line count, I guess. I don't know if this is a pointer or not. I believe it's not. And line index plus plus. So, and in theory we could set the actual line we are on right now, but yeah, let's not. So UI tooltips what does it say? Line text of line index, and we want to get the text bounds, so we get text size, which gives us a rectangle too. We are only interested in the max, and from the max we are only interested in the x component of that, and we call that or just x, maybe just x, because that's the only x we need in this loop. And then if x is greater than the lines max x, we want to set the lines max x to x. After this loop, lines max x should be the maximum x that there is to be drawn, and now we can go and use this to modify the mouse P. So if the position of the mouse plus the size of the longest line, the x bounds, the x dimension of the bounds of the longest line are bigger than the maximum region we can draw in, are bigger than the point in the corner here, then we have to move it back, and we have to move it back by how much it was bigger. So what we get out is an adjustment value, adjust x, which is the mouse, I guess we can say the draw p. The draw p x plus the lines max x so that is from the mouse cursor out. We start with the mouse cursor x and we go out lines max x pixels, and if that is bigger than the size of the screen, we want to get a negative adjustment value. So we say UI okay, because the pointer it can't get the members of it, which is fine. We need the UI space member max and then the x component of that. If that minus how far we want to move out is bigger than how much space we have, adjust x will be negative. So if adjust x is negative, so it's less than 0, then we want to add this adjustment value to our draw p. So draw px plus equals adjust x. If that worked, this should now compile, and it does not. Okay, then let me take this time to show you the problem again. The problem is that this box is clipping into it's not clipping, or rather it is clipping at screen boundaries, but I want to see the whole box. This should make sure that I don't. It looks like I just misspelled draw p and the adjustment calculation. So if I recompile this one, okay, get text size needs the UI. I don't exactly know why. Oh, I know why, because that's where it gets the font from. It has to get font information from somewhere, because how many pixels the font takes up does change how things are being drawn. So if this compiled, something should have changed, but it looks like I forgot a semicolon in the for loop. I had to program Go recently, which messed up my automatic semicolon setting, because in Go it says semicolons for you. So now we see the thing at the draw piece at the mouse P, which means this compiled correctly, and we see it here as well. So now when we go over the screen, this box, the box where the text is, the tooltip, should now not move over the screen boundary. And yes, that is the case. The full box is visible. So great, we've done it. See you some other time.